Next coach is Michigan State's Jonathan Smith. Smith enters his first season leading the Spartans after spending the past 6 seasons at his alma mater, Oregon State. Coach Smith, welcome to the Big Ten, and we'll begin with your opening statement.
Well, it is great to be here today, representing Michigan State University. It's always an exciting day to kind of kick off and get started on this new adventure that me and my family are really looking forward to. Got 3 players here that represent this place as well. Nate Carter, running back, that has been awesome for us on and off the field, getting to know him. He's actually the first player I met on the team, and he's had the best offseason of his life because he got married just a few weeks ago. Dylan Tatum, versatile player in the secondary, does a bunch in our community. Another one in our locker room, has a ton of influence. I think he'll represent us today really well. And Jack Velling, tight end, very familiar with, just got over in January to Michigan State and has dove into our locker room. Feel like his skill set and his abilities, he's got a chance to be one of the best tight ends in the country. So really excited about those 3 guys being here as well. Even for me, being here, it is impressive to be a part of the Big Ten Conference with the 4 new schools, the additions, even following a legend like Coach Ferentz. What is impressive leads to it's going to be competitive and challenging, and I'm really excited to be able to dive into doing that in this conference. We went to work starting in December, laying a foundation through spring practice that we felt really good about. We've had some new additions and new faces that we're putting this thing together this summer, this off season. Can't give enough credit to our strength staff led by Mike McDonald and all the work that's been done. And now there's a huge amount of work moving forward that I'm really looking forward to doing. I want to be a place, Michigan State, of substance. I've been around building before and really looking forward to building something special here at Michigan State. With that, I'll take your questions.
Thanks, Coach. We have our second row on your right side.
Hey, Coach. Will Decker, LA Football Network. Aiden Childs and Jack followed you from Oregon State to Michigan State. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about Aiden, his potential in his first year, potentially starting as quarterback for the Spartans. And Jack, what makes him one of the more underrated tight ends within the country, and what makes you think he's got a shot at the Mackey Award when all's said and done?
Yeah, we feel both those guys on and off the field are great additions. They had a good amount of options to consider, and so we feel great that they chose to come to our place. Both of them, there's some advantages, familiarity within the scheme that they're going to be running, the terminology and how we call plays and how we do it. Aiden, I think, athletically, he's gifted throwing the ball. He can move his feet, but he has a deep passion for this game, and so he likes studying it. I think he's got some instincts to play in the game. And yes, he's still a youngster. He's had some action last year, but we're looking forward to seeing how him playing full-time, how he continues to grow and give us a chance to score some points.
Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Jonathan, in spring practice, what did you learn about your offensive line, and how long do you think it will take to gain some real traction there?
Yeah, I think that O-line starts with they got a deep passion for the game. They like to play. We want to create an O-line where you're not just targeted to have 5 guys. You want to have some depth. O-line coach Jim Mahalchek does a great job of multi-position, so we're not just targeting, you're only a left tackle. We've got some playing inside and outside to be able to put the best 5 out there. And so we got some things established in the spring, but we have a lot of work in August, and that's for every position, to tighten up our best 5, but continue to have some depth, because this physical game, you probably end up playing more than 5 guys during the season.
On your right side, Coach.
Kenneth Berry, Touchdowns Intelligence. Coach, what's kind of a mantra or just, a philosophy that you've had that's carried you from the Mountain West to the Pac-12 to now the Big Ten coaching this team? And moreover, when it comes to this roster, how much does it kind of resemble what you were already building at Oregon State based on just the character and the identity of the team?
Mm-hmm. you started with the first question on a mantra. I've always, learned a long time ago, low ego, high output, and how we approach it, how we play the game, how we prepare for it, even how you function as a staff, not keeping it not just about yourself. This current roster I am excited about in regards, I think we got some talent, but we do have some guys that have a care factor for this game, and not just about playing, because there's so much work that goes into it, and the work needs to be done together. This is the ultimate team game, and so trying to fill the locker room with guys that understand and want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and I think we got a lot of those guys.
Third row on your left.
Hi, Coach. Paul Fanson from Spartans Illustrated and the Rivals Network. You've had the opportunity to either play under or be coached under some legends in the West Coast, such as Coach Riley, Coach Erickson, Coach Peterson. I was just wondering if you could tell us some of the most important lessons that you learned under their tutelage that you're now taking to East Lansing.
Yeah, good question. I could talk for quite a while, and really all three of those guys. I think about Mike Riley at being authentic. Sometimes guys get the title of head coach and been doing it for a while. He never really changed his personality type. Strategy, learned a ton from Coach Riley in regards, he was an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator in his career. That was my early on, learning about the game. Got a ton from that. Dennis Erickson, ultimate competitor. This guy was competitive, no slow down, no back down out of that guy. Evaluator of talent. He could recognize talent quickly, and I had long conversations with him as a young coach on how he did that, on recognizing talent. Chris Peterson, on the coaching side, been with him the longest by far. He told a ton. You talk about organization, vision, setting a direction, alignment, creating an alignment within a program and organization, master at it, creativity, offensive background, but creativity on the offensive side, and then continue to always push, find ways to improve, never staying the same. I learned that from Coach Pete.
First row on your right.
Coach Lynn Harrington with Stay Alive Power 5. How you doing today?
Good.
That's all right. So what I want to talk about, you know what they say, Rome wasn't built in one day. At your alma mater, Oregon State, you got it going and built them up to competitivity. Now at Michigan State, the stakes are a little higher. You have a slimmer margin for error. Did you emphasize, to the athletic upper powers that, this thing is not going to be an overnight process and that you want to be in it for a long haul and invest longer than you?
Well, look, all of us are competitive, and so we don't have a long patience for playing quality football. At the same time, I think you're always building. You're starting somewhere, you're going to create a foundation, then you're building off of that. And so I'm looking forward to that approach of we've built something before, not going to panic on the first adversity we see, understanding that, yeah, sometimes there is a process to it, but not going to say that we have patience for we want to be in a constant state of improvement and build it the right way.
On your left side, Coach.
Dustin Schutte, Sports Illustrated. Coach, you spent most of your life on the West Coast. What's been the biggest adjustment coming to the Midwest, or maybe the biggest culture shock for you?
I wouldn't say shock. I do think the community in East Lansing has been welcoming, and the people, the pride and passion. I don't think that's different than the West Coast, but you feel it out this way. And I'm not just talking about Michigan State football. I've been awesome opportunity to get around basketball and the year our hockey team had, and the passion the place has for Michigan State. That's been really, really fun.
Kim Grinolds, dogband.com, 24/7 Sports. Great to see you, Jonathan.
Good to see you.
Hey, playing at Oregon State, coaching at Washington, the Oregon rivalry, I'm sure, has a special meaning. You're going into Oregon again this year. How will that be different for you this year, going in as a head coach for Michigan State? And prior to you taking the job at Michigan State, when was the last time prior to that you ever wore the color green?
Right. Yeah, I have not worn much green leading into this, but I do have green eyes on that end. Look, I think, we're going to play the Ducks, and they're going to be a competitive team again. They are year in and year out. That game, there might be some conversation about myself going back there, but that's really about just myself. We've got a bunch of guys that we need to prepare a certain way each week to play our best, and that'll be my approach by coaching the guys when we head down there.
We got a final question on your left side, Coach.
Jacob Maurer, Impact Sports. You were able to keep a good chunk of your coaching staff from Oregon State, but you did have some new hires to the program, or at least new to your coaching staff. How has that been, having about half from Oregon State and half new hires on your coaching staff this offseason?
Yeah, I feel good on the blend that we were able to put together. Yes, we had a crew of guys that came over that I'm deeply rooted with. I think it helps in transition to get started, speaking the same language, have shared experience through the years, and so I thought there was real value there. But at the same time, we're in a different spot, different conference location, and so wanted to have some guys with some expertise of the conference, and with Chad Wilt and Joe Rossi having coordinated in this league and done it at a really high level. Felt good about those two additions, and then it's important to have some guys that have walked the halls and lived the experience. And so having two other coaches that have been former Spartans and played here with Courtney Hawkins, Demetrius Martin, I think it rounded out really well with those 10 full-time coaches.
Coach Smith, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.